Good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Um, you're catching me in the rare t-shirt and lanyard, and that is because I am here at Intuit Connect in Las Vegas for our a wonderful trade show. So I met some of you in person. It's been great to see you. If you are here in Las Vegas, and you are also for whatever reason watching this, please come down and see me at the booth later. Would love to meet you in person. All right, as is our custom, we're going to go ahead and give people a couple of minutes to pile on in, and then we will get things started. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get things started. So once again, thank you all so much for taking the time. This is our October and final edition of the Catch Up with Keeper webinar series. And that is because after this month, we're going to start calling this the Double Digest for those of, or sorry, the Double Take. So for those of you who have not heard the news, Keeper is rebranding, and we are now Double. So that's the new company name. Excited about it. It comes from the origin of concept at the heart of bookkeeping, which is double entry accounting. It also reflects our mission to help double your firm's productivity. So we're really excited about it. Hopefully, for some of you again who are in Las Vegas, you're seeing the new booth with all our double branding. But the color scheme is staying the same. The cows are staying the same. The company is staying the same. The product's staying the same. So the only thing that's new is our name. I suppose that is probably the biggest update in our catch up with Keeper. But with that, we are going to dive into the standard fare, which is an update on all of our new updates in the product over the course of the last month. One quick programming note is we will have to keep this webinar to about 50 minutes instead of the traditional hour. So there is a chance I might have to cut off a couple of Q&A questions depending on how many come in, because I have a presentation to give at Intuit Connect in 1 hour. All right. Well, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive on in. I'll share my screen. If you have any questions, please drop them into the Q&A section at the bottom of our chat. Okay. All right. Well, first things first, we're going to kick things off on the close page with a brand new feature in the top right-hand corner that we call the Quick Add menu. So the Quick Add menu is this button right here, and it lets you add pretty much anything you would want to do on this page right from here. So on the internal side of things, you can quickly add a task. So you can create a new task here and then put that where it needs to go and get back on with your work. You can even create this in other clients. So really quick and easy way to create new tasks. Same thing for if you wanted to just quickly drop a file into the client uploads inbox, or if you wanted to leave a note or view your existing notes. So that's on the internal double side of things. And then on the external side of things, all of the transaction types that you'd want to create in QuickBooks, you can now do those directly from here. So in particular, I have already used the create journal entry function a ton. And otherwise, it is just like a normal way to quickly create a transaction. Also, if you have receipts enabled on your client, you can upload a file here. And let's see if I have an example here. This is definitely not a transaction, so I don't have a good example handy. I think I just uploaded a PDF. But you can scan and autofill it, and that will pull down all of the information out of the transaction if that is available, so that you can still use this just like you used receipts. But this is not, you don't need to use receipts to be able to take advantage of the Quick Add menu. This is available for customers across all plans. Okay, next, a couple of updates to our file review. First things first, in the payee and entity review, we now have the ability to bulk edit your duplicate vendors and duplicate customers. So if you wanted to really quickly bulk clear all of these out, for example, you could click this bulk exclude option, and you can choose which ones you want to select on the left. So I know this is a long overdue feature, but happy to be making some improvements here. All right, and then one other small update in the account reconciliation section is in our balances. So sometimes you see a negative balance here, and you're not sure necessarily what that means. So now if you hover over this, we'll tell you what the account type is of this account, and whether positive represents a debit or a credit balance. So here we've got a contra asset account. So it's in fixed assets. positive is a debit, so that means this holds a credit balance of $66.66. Same thing goes for every other account type. Okay, so those are the updates to the um, close. I'm gonna pause and take Q&A as I go. Okay, and I will save sort of general questions for the end, so anything that touches on this relevant feature, I'll make sure to get. Okay, Kate asked, does the add button for creating a journal entry work in Zero? Not yet. It is currently just available for clients in QuickBooks Online. Okay, next on to bank feeds. A few nice little polish improvements here. First things first, we added the ability to match against sales receipts and sales tax payments in the bank feeds. They don't have an example here first, but now that should be comprehensive in terms of all of the items that you might potentially match against in the bank feeds. You can now match against in doubles bank feeds. And then second, one additional improvement we added is we added some just additional filtering logic to make it easier to quickly bulk work through transactions in your bank feed. So you can choose to have a quickly filter for transactions above your capitalization policy. It turns out I have none here. Um, the capitalization policy, by the way, is set by your transactions greater than threshold. So if you set your transactions over 1,000 to be your capitalization policy, that's what we use here. And then you can also choose a custom amount. So we could say if we want this transactions over $100, we can do that here as well. And that is positive and negative $100. All right. Next, I'm going to jump over into our reporting. One big new update here is the introduction of our AI financial summaries starting in the executive summary. For those of you who have previously used our executive summary note feature, this is the ability to leave a quick summary of a few notes, few bullets that your clients might want to know in a quick review of their financials if they don't have time to drill through all the P&L, or you want to guide them on what kinds of information they should be paying attention to as they're reading their management report. This is a great section, super high leverage for communicating valuable information to your clients. And now you can draft it with AI. So if you click this draft with AI button, we have a couple of default prompts that you can use. You can choose the professional tone or the friendly tone. And you can also write your own prompts and then save those and use them across this client or others. And then if you click generate, this will send your all your sort of client's financial package and details to our AI and review against that prompt. And then it will come back with a generated prompt. So we'll let it finish up thinking and we'll see what it creates. We really let it go into the deepest of thinking, so we'll see what it comes back with. All right. Here we've got this is sort of quick, just three bullet points on high level information. We can see what major expenses are driving, who our sort of major vendors are with certain expenses and how those are driving overall changes. One of the downsides of having used demo data here is we get some random kind of spurious looking vendor names here, but you can just save this and then that will add it to your executive summary when you publish your financials. The AI financial summaries and additional forthcoming AI capabilities in management reporting for drafting these kinds of AI-based overviews are available in our Plus package along with receipts. All right. Next, we have some improvements to talk about on the client list. So first things first, a few new columns. One is client ID. This may be particularly valuable if you are working with Zaps or with uh, our double API. So this is basically the ID that relates to this client. So if you want to edit that client's properties, you want to pull their tasks or anything like that, this can just be a good, quick way to get that client's information and check it here. Next thing that we added is a status changed column. And what this will show is the date the close status last changed. So here we can see the date a close was moved to stock, the date a close was moved to done, for example. And so that way we can sort descending and maybe even filter out done if we wanted to see, for example, like which ones have been sitting in stuck the longest, for example. And so here you can just quickly see which ones have been stuck the longest by filtering accordingly and then sorting ascending or descending. This can also be helpful if you are a tax firm. We'll go over your tax return view, and you would like to run on a sort of FIFO basis. So the date the status was last changed is the next one that you're going to pull to work on. So this works both in the tax views and the close views. Okay, and last but not least, for those of you who use our financials, so this is the ability to pull revenue, income, or gross profit for the last month or last 12 months. You can now also pull these for a year-to-date basis. So you can pull revenue, net income, or gross profit on a year-to-date basis as well. Okay. Next, on to templates. Actually, I'll pause and check in on some questions here. An anonymous attendee asked, what is the security with the AI? Is this a separate double AI, or does it pull on some already online ChatGPT, Claude, etc. AI feature? We use the the OpenAI, just ChatGPT API. So that's what we use to process all of our AI, from our bank feeds to our AI journal entries to our AI financial summaries. Importantly, this is not trained on your client's data, so we disable the functionality to have OpenAI train on any of your client's information, so it's only used to actually process the response. Okay, Christine asked, can you show us how we can upgrade certain clients to higher subscription tiers while leaving others on the base tier? Yes, absolutely. And then I think I will save the others for after the next round of updates to talk about. Okay, so here, if you go to your all client settings, you'll see the client's plan is here. And if you click this plan, that will let you choose a different plan. So here, you can see this one's on core, and you can choose to upgrade them to plus or scale. Similarly, if the client is on plus or scale, you can also downgrade them back to core from here as well. Okay. All right. Next set of updates is in templates. So here in your task templates, you now have the ability to update your transactions over 1,000 or transactions over a certain dollar amount threshold in your template. So here we can say we wanted this to be 2,000 instead of 1,000 as our default capitalization policy threshold. We can do that here. And then when we apply this template, that will also update the threshold in any clients we apply to or any new clients we add with this template. Okay. Next improvement is on the task list. So now on tasks, if you have any custom tasks, so any tasks that are not related to a close, but are in a client, and apologies for some of the latency here, I'm in with some unreliable hotel Wi-Fi. So if you have a couple of custom tasks in general here, for example, and you wanted to move them to a different section, you can do that here as well. Now in bulk, rather than needing to change these tasks individually. So hopefully that will help if you need to do some big cleanup. All right, and then just a few more updates. Next is in our timers. So we have updated the timers table here. I know this seems like a small superficial change, but hopefully you will find this table much nicer and easier to navigate and work with. You can really easily, quickly sort of make columns narrower or wider. You can drag and drop to reorder columns. Um, you can still edit all your columns like previously, although the editing experience should be a little bit smoother. And just overall, it should feel like a more polished table experience. So I bring this up, one, because I think it's a nice improvement in your timers table, and two, because it is actually something that we're going to be making as a broader set of upgrades across other table experiences throughout the app. So most notably on the client list and the task list. So if you have any thoughts or feedback on how we can make this table experience better, or any problems you might have with it, please don't hesitate to let us know about those. Definitely want to make this the most polished experience. We know tables are everywhere throughout the product, so we want to make sure that that is a pleasurable experience to work at. All right. And last but not least, I'm going to jump into our practice settings for a few practice settings updates that I think are worth escalating to talk about in our monthly webinar. Okay, so first things first, we now have a new setting in your workflow to auto create closes on the first of the month if the previous close is complete. So here, if you turn the setting on, if you have a close that is, let's say we've got the September close complete, then when November 1st rolls around, the October close will automatically be created without you needing to take any additional action on your to do so. Next is we now have the ability to change your client list highlighting. So this green highlighting on the client list right here, you can now change that setting. The previous setting was always it would only the row would only highlight as done when the entire close was done and all the client tasks were marked as done. But you can choose to change that to show highlighted in green only when the current close is done, or you can turn it off entirely if you find that green too distracting. So this is a long-awaited feature, and hopefully, putting this in the monthly webinar will help people know about its availability. Okay, one more setting here is templates permissions. So by default, templates are visible to all managers, admins, and super admins. But I know for some firms that is not that doesn't really work, and firms want the ability to have managers who don't have access to templates or want everyone to have access to templates regardless of their permissions level. So here you can now choose that at the practice level. And if you say admin and above, then no managers will see templates. If you say standard and above, then every user will see a template, and then manager and above is the default. All right, and last but not least, a few places where you can hide things. So if you don't plan to use bank feeds ever and you want to turn it off across all your clients, in your statements and reporting section, you can now turn off bank feeds. Uncheck this enable bank feeds option, and that will hide bank feeds everywhere. And additionally, for emails, if you don't ever plan to use emails and you want to disable that too, you go over here to your manage users, emails, and then you can hide the inbox tab for your entire practice. Okay, so those are all of the updates for the last month. So now I will open things up to some questions. Brittany asked, are we able to change the client ID? You are not. This is a randomly assigned number in the system, so it's fixed as is. Uh, Christy asked, can we now edit total hours in the timers table? So you don't edit total hours directly. Basically, you can edit it by changing the start or end time. Morgan asked, as an admin, can you add time for other team members? Not currently, although this is a pretty frequently requested feature, especially as of recent. So definitely something I will take back to our product team. Kevin asked, does Double plan to add additional ledgers to the product? Specifically, I'm thinking of AI ledgers like digits or puzzle. It's definitely something that we on the long term we want to support all of the ledgers that you work with, including those AI ledgers. We do have some some development in process for a couple of the ones that you mentioned as well. That said, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that right now, when it comes to incremental ledger development, we do want to spend some time making our zero integration better before we start adding support for the N plus first ledger experience. Okay, Deepali asked, the bank feed is coming in 1 day later in Double than in QBO. What could be the reason behind that? It's a great question. Would love to take a deeper look at that. So if you wouldn't mind just dropping into the chat, we'll take a look at that with our product team. An anonymous entity asked, is it possible to use a Zap or automation to sync tasks with another software like Notion? It should be possible. I believe so. I think we have a task updated Zap. Yeah, we do. If you use the task status trigger, then you can have when there's an event in Double where a task status is updated, you can have that trigger an update in Notion as well. An anonymous attendee asked, is the AI feature for executive summaries available in all plan levels? It is not. It's in our Plus package. So there's Core, Plus, and Scale. So it's in our Plus package, and then all features available in Plus are also available in Scale. Okay, Rochelle asked, are we able to bulk update dates in the task list, due dates in the task list? You are not currently, but that's definitely something that we do want to add broader support for is bulk updating both here and throughout the app. Okay, Jennifer asked, I may have missed this, but does the auto roll forward happen only on the first of the month, or does it happen once the close is done? Um, sorry, and then there were some other questions at the end. It does happen at the first of the month. Once again, this auto create close, this will create it. So on November 1st, it will create all of the October closes that have clients with completed September closes. Okay. Michelle asked, in reporting, I have a client who loves the top 10 vendors, but wants to see them by class. Is there currently a way to do that? Not currently, but definitely would be a good feature request for Arcani. Sarah asked, can you please remind me where we can find previous recorded monthly updates so we can go back and review? There are two places you can find it. First is our YouTube channel. Second is our help center. So here you can find all of the previous updates here with direct links to each of them. And then if you click into each of these, this will also take you to our YouTube channel. Okay, Anonymous asked, could you show how to turn off emails? Yes. So if you go to your practice settings, and then you go to manage users, and then emails, here you can hide the inbox tab. And so this will still let you use things like outbound email from the practice email for messaging from the client, from the close page, but will hide the inbox tab. Okay, Anonymous asked, if my firm already has existing client IDs and we want to add them in Double, what is the best way to include them in the client record without having the ID appear next to the client's name when preparing the financial statements? Okay, I understand. We only want to see the name, not the ID. Okay, so what I recommend is creating a client property for this. So here you could create a separate client property. That would be probably a text type would be my recommendation here. And so this would be like, I don't know, external client ID. And you could have, then you could put your, then you could put your IDs here, and then you can add that property to your client list. Ah, looks like I already did this demo for someone. So here you could have your client IDs here, and then you can use those for reference on the client list, and all of these are searchable as well. So you can find them here without needing to put them in your client's name. Danny asked, could you add the option to auto create a close for a new period for a few days before the month end? Definitely, we could consider it. If you want to drop it in the Canny, we will review it. Emmeline asked for an update on the Sage Intacct integration and any new features we've shipped there. I don't really have much in the way of new updates on the Sage Intacct integration. It has been sort of in a stable beta at this point for the last few months now. Okay, Anonymous asked for a follow-up on the ID question. Is there a way to add them via Zap when they are set up as properties? Yes, you can both read and write to client properties via Zapier. Okay, Tracy asked, is Zoho Books on the roadmap? I cannot say that it is. I know we get this request a lot, but I will say it's not on the immediate roadmap. Okay, well, that appears to be all of the Q&A today. So thank you all for giving me the opportunity to go run down and make sure I have time to make my my presentation today. So I will give people a couple more minutes here to ask any last minute questions before we hop off. Okay, and right on cue, we have a new one. Ellie asked, does Double work with QuickBooks Ledger? Yes, it does. It works with all QuickBooks plans except for the self-employed version, which I don't even know if it still exists, but if it does exist, that's the one that does not connect APIs. Okay, Chet asked, are there more options planned for Zapier? One of the problems with the Zapier task status trigger is that it does not trigger on new tasks, but only on updated task statuses. Great feedback. Definitely something we can take back. We are constantly making improvements to our Zapier and our public API, so I can definitely take that one back to the product team. Okay, Anonymous asked, does disable email data cache prevent sending emails for W-9s? It does not. Disable, I'll share my screen to show what this person was asking about in the first place. Okay, so Anonymous keyed in on this setting here in your manage users and emails. There is this disable email data cache. Basically, this relates to our inbox functionality. So obviously, in our inbox functionality, not only are you sending emails out of Double, but also we're bringing in emails in your inbox. So if you check this box, basically we actually already only live pull all of those emails from the get-go. So the only time when we cache emails that are in your inbox is if you delete a user. And so if you uncheck this user, and basically the reason we do that is so that their sent and received emails continue to show up in email history. So if you have to let a user go or a user leaves for some reason, you don't lose all of that email history. However, some firms don't want that data cached, and they have specific data retention policies that prevent that. So here, if you check the setting, it will prevent any inbound or outbound messages in the inbox from being cached for the purpose of showing up in your email history. And that is a long-winded way of saying it does not prevent any other functionality. So the inbox will continue to work the same. You are still able to send emails to your clients and to vendors for W-9s, W-9 requests. The only thing it does is prevents us from ever caching emails for that email history feature. All right. Well, with that, we are going to go ahead and draw the final catch up with Keeper and first uh, monthly double take to a close. So thank you all so much for joining me today. Once again, if you are in Vegas and you happen to be watching this for some reason, please come down and say hi at the booth. Otherwise, I will see you all right back here next month. And I hope you have a good rest of your October.